Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute but might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tip to balance in favor of fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use. DJ continues to lie, saying they done won the war. He claiming victory again, saying that they have decimated Iran, taking out the Navy leadership. Well, they on their 55th wave. And tonight, going into Tuesday, they finna do 56 and 57. And guess what they saying? Any American businesses in the region, which is Western Asia, what they call the Middle East, need to leave immediately. And anybody that's living in the surrounding areas was an American business or American affiliated business, you better leave. Otherwise, you finna get blew the fuck up. Ezekiel 35 and 11. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, the Most High Power, I will even do according to thine anger. Talking about these Edomites, since they like bombing people, corporate bombing people, killing women, children, everybody associated that ain't associated with the military. And according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Against who? Children of Israel. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Lord, making these Edomites small among the heathen and despised. Read the whole chapter. It's only one chapter, Obadiah. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Look at this. All of the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Why? Because all these countries where you got these military bases at in Western Asia, they finna tell y'all ass, hey man, y'all got to go. And them investments that we was finna make over here in America, nah, we ain't doing that no more because we got to build our shit back up. Guess what it is right here? We want that comes to the kingdom. Shalom.
That the war should end in tensions across West Asia are escalating rapidly as Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, widely known as the IRGC, issues a stark warning to companies and workers linked to the United States across the region. In a dramatic statement released Monday, the IRGC ordered the immediate evacuation of workers from industrial facilities tied to American interests. The message was blunt and unmistakable. Leave now or risk being caught in the crossfire of Iran's next wave of retaliatory strikes. According to the IRGC's Public Relations Office, industries where American companies hold stakes could soon become targets. We warn the defeated American regime to evacuate all American industries in the region, the statement declared. The warning didn't stop there. The IRGC also urged civilians living near such facilities to leave the surrounding areas immediately to avoid potential casualties. In the coming hours, these industries will be targeted and hit, the statement added, a chilling signal that Iran's retaliation may be expanding beyond military bases to economic infrastructure connected to Washington. The latest warning comes as the conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel continues to spiral. The current round of hostilities began on February 28th, when Washington and Tel Aviv launched what Tehran describes as a new phase of military aggression against the Islamic Republic. Iran says those strikes triggered a devastating toll. Among those killed, according to Iranian officials, was Ali Khamenei, the leader of the Islamic Revolution, along with hundreds of civilians, including women and children, and several senior military commanders. Tehran has vowed that such losses will not go unanswered. From the very first day of the war, Iran has unleashed waves of retaliatory attacks targeting American military assets across the region and locations inside Israeli-controlled territories. Ballistic missiles, drones, and coordinated strikes have become a defining feature of the escalating conflict. And now Iran is signaling that its campaign is entering a new and potentially more dangerous phase. The IRGC's latest warning suggests economic infrastructure linked to American interests may soon be added to the list of targets. Yet even as tensions surge, Tehran insists its actions are not directed at the countries hosting these facilities. Iran maintains that it respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of its neighbors. But it has also issued a clear message to regional governments: do not allow your territory to become a launchpad for attacks against Iran. In other words, neutrality may no longer be enough. If American forces or infrastructure operate on their soil, those locations could become part of the battlefield. Across West Asia, governments are now watching closely as the conflict threatens to spill further beyond its original fronts. Energy hubs, industrial complexes, and strategic infrastructure throughout the region suddenly face a new level of risk. For companies with American ties, the warning from Tehran is clear: evacuate your workers, leave the area, and prepare for what could come next. For Iran, the message is equally unmistakable. Despite mounting international pressure and the growing scale of the conflict, the Islamic Republic says it will not back down. Instead, it vows to intensify its campaign until what it calls aggression against the country comes to an end.
Hey!
As missiles fly and threats multiply, the region now braces for the next move in a confrontation that shows no sign of cooling. And with the IRGC warning that strikes could begin within hours, the countdown to another dangerous escalation may already be underway. Meanwhile, top Iranian minister has made a bombshell remark.
Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, says Tehran is seeking a permanent end to the war with the United States and Israel, insisting that the conflict must conclude in a way that prevents any future aggression against Iran. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Araghchi said Iran has not sent any messages requesting a ceasefire. Instead, he stressed that the war should end in a manner that ensures such attacks are never repeated. The Iranian foreign minister said the country's position is not driven by a desire to prolong the conflict. Rather, he argued that the outcome must serve as a deterrent so that adversaries think twice before launching similar strikes again. Araghchi pointed out that during earlier confrontations, Iran's adversaries had demanded what he described as unconditional surrender. However, he claimed that after facing Iran's retaliatory strikes, those same opponents eventually sought a ceasefire. The comments come amid an ongoing war that began after the United States and Israel launched strikes on Iran last month. Tehran responded by launching multiple waves of missile and drone attacks targeting strategic American and Israeli positions across the region. Addressing the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, the Iranian foreign minister said the vital waterway remains open for most countries, but closed to what he described as Iran's enemies and those involved in aggression against the nation. Araghchi concluded by saying Iran's adversaries have now learned a difficult lesson, warning that the country will continue defending itself for as long as necessary and will ultimately celebrate what he described as a victory once the conflict comes to a permanent end.